article free because I want more people to read. The author's name is Douglas, D-O-U-G-L-A-S, Douglas. C for cat, full stop, Wallace, W-A-L-L-A-C. Article pair in a, yeah. Oh, really? Thank you, Peter. I not love you. I want to hug you again. First time in my life, somebody comes and says, you are given more minutes. You know what happens normally? The San Diego conference, which is one of the biggest conferences that I have ever addressed in the world, the other day, they wrote to me 1 year ago, you have 1 hour to talk on your subject. I said, fine. So 6 months later I said, cut it down to 45 minutes because the constraints of the conference. I said, okay. When I went to San Diego, I was interviewed. They said, make it 30 minutes. I said, okay. On the day of the talk, there was so much of overlapping of the things happened. They came and told me, can you make it 10 minutes? Of course, then the audience said, no, he must have his full time. So they gave me about 45 minutes. That's different. But Peter, I hug you. Okay, then I have time. I'll tell you what. Douglas C. Wallace, W-A-L-L-A-C-E. Purinjida? Article pair cholre. Mitochondria is the hardware of the cell. Mitochondria as chi, C-H-I, as chi. Chi means energy. You know, Chinese name for energy is chi, C-H-I, C-H-I. Mitochondria as chi. That means energy runs the cell. And the journal's name is Genetics. Genetics is the most prestigious genetics journal in the world. It's the American journal. Genetics, 2008. Year is 2008. Semicolon. Volume is 179. Colon. Page is 727, 735. Write down. So that it is very easy to get in the Google. Otherwise you will search for days together. 727 to 735. Page is the mistake, don't curse me afterwards. So if you read this, it's a very difficult subject because a lot of genetics is there. One reading you will not understand nothing. Second reading you will think there is something. Third reading you think, oh, it's something nearer. Fourth reading you think, aha, I understand. Fifth reading you get the message, and the message is so simple that every single reductionist scientific molecule. See, we look at the human body reduced in pieces and bits. What is water? Water is hydrogen and oxygen. I ask students, H2O. No. Water is a fascinating structure which requires a huge big organization to study that. World's 2 laboratories only study water. Penn State University is #1 material sciences laboratory in the world, and Imperial College science section studies water. Campbell is the man studying water in London. Rustum is the man studying water in Penn State. These are the only 2 people who study water. Water is fascinating. I'll show you now that Peter has given me time. I'll show you something very interesting. Now, this is the part of the thing that what Douglas showed is very interesting because water is water. Now, if I take hydrogen from the water, what will happen, do you know? Oxygen will remain, which is nascent oxygen, which will destroy everything. Otherwise, we could have used water for our engine. But today, Rustum Roy has been able to get atomic hydrogen from water. Atomic hydrogen from water. Can you believe that? This is very interesting. If you took atomic hydrogen from water, water remains water, hydrogen becomes hydrogen, and you can use it. We are running a 2-piston engine now on this 2-piston engine. Now we will use for cars and things like that. You simply have to have salt water, pass radio waves. The same waves that Lata Mangeshkar is singing in the radio, same waves you pass, hydrogen atom comes out, and you can burn it, and water remains water. And Rustum Roy quotes what? Vedas. In the Rig Veda, there is a thing called Urj, which says, Purnamada, Purnamidam. Water is a whole, hydrogen is a whole. Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamavayvashishtate. That if you take hydrogen from water, water remains water, hydrogen becomes hydrogen. What a beautiful thing. And he quotes that. He puts that first slide. Here is a man who belongs to a Kuleen Brahmin family in Bengal. There, of course, in Bangladesh in the olden days. His father was a very great lawyer in Bengal. He migrates to America 67 years ago as a student, and then becomes an American citizen, gets converted to Christianity, but still now reads his Vedas just as his father used to read. And he studies that very, very. There's no dichotomy between religions. Religion is a practice, way of life. But knowledge and wisdom are universal for everything. And he is not only that, he is a Pentecostal preacher. And he has an American wife, 2 American sons. American sons means his sons who are Americans. Very interesting. Anyway, now he studies this thing and puts the Rigvedic verse first for his lecture. And then goes on to show how water can be used. Now this is the fascinating part of science. But the Indian herbal medicines have been here for thousands of years by observational research. They have stood the test of time, and that's the most important thing. Now I'll tell you, most of our drugs, safer drugs, came from herbs only. I'll talk about Peru. 15th century Peru had millions of people dying of malaria. Not hundreds, but millions of dying of malaria. So, what is interesting is, you have the capacity to keep yourself healthy and well and treat in the unlikely event of an illness, provided you don't poison your body with unnecessary things. Simple foods which our ancestors ate. I always tell people, if what I am eating is bad for me, my father, my father's father, his father, his father's father, his father's his father, for 50,000 generations ate the same stuff. If that were bad, as we now say, they would have all died, no? We would have been all extinct like the dinosaurs long back. Today somebody comes and says, take Mediterranean food. Mediterranean food is good for Mediterranean weather. For Mediterranean people, not for us. Because Ayurveda says, the weather, the situation, your genetical properties, your environment, all these are important. I have been eating rice for donkey's years, and one of my students who has become a diabetologist comes and tells me, sir, don't eat rice, it's very bad. You eat only pulses. So I told him, young man, that must be only one limited idea that you read in some book. Rice becomes sugar, sugar becomes triglyceride, triglyceride something else. No, don't worry. If you take only pulses, do you know what happens? Go and read Ayurveda. It says, you can't take more pulses, your kidney gets damaged. Because it's all protein. Atkins diet, everybody says Atkins diet. Poor Atkin himself died of renal failure. So don't you believe all this rubbish that comes in the papers. You don't know who is the best bet for you to remain healthy? Your granny. Old granny story. I'll give you one example. 50 years, the Cold Research Center in Colindale in London did research on common cold. Common cold? You know common cold? Yes. They did research and 500 million pounds were spent. Papers came out one after another. Ultimately, 1999, they closed the center. It was started in 1949, they closed it in 1999. The last paper came out and said, in 50 years, we have not been able to take knowledge forwards about common cold. We don't know what common cold is and how to treat it. We suggest the Indian wisdom of eating spices when you have a cold is the best result that can happen. The last paper. Professor Zyment in Harvard Medical School showed that ginger, fresh ginger, garlic, pepper, onion, and a combination of honey is the most powerful viral, antiviral agent known to mankind. I'm not joking, it's serious. Supposing you have any infection with cold, let's say your sinus infection, etc. Now we have a nano solution of silver in water. Rustum Roy has, see, water has a lot of loose bonds. Rustum Roy has put nano silver particles in the water. And this is simple water, I can show you. It's just water, nothing else. If you have any sore throat or you got a sinus infection with germs, you simply take 2 teaspoons of the water in the morning and evening, next day you're all right. Now, I have got reports to say that malaria, falciparum malaria culture done in the International Malaria Institute using this water, 5 minutes falciparum is killed. AIDS virus, if there is one, I don't know if there is one. As I agree with Leo, because there is a beautiful book you all must read. It's called Inventing the AIDS Virus. What's the book's name? Inventing the AIDS Virus. It's a beautiful book written by one of the greatest virologists of this universe. His name is Peter, just like our Peter. He is P.I. Peter, he is Peter Duesberg, D-U-E-S-B-E-R-G, Duesberg. He even now is a professor of virology in the Berkeley University. And this book is so thick. But it has 4 pages of golden forward, written by a Nobel laureate called Carey Mullis. Carey is the father of the PCR test, polymerase chain reaction test, which detects viruses. Okay? Now, Carey writes the forward, 4-page. I quote one sentence from there. Quote, Peter and I don't know what causes AIDS, full stop. Peter has his hypothesis, which I don't understand, full stop. But Peter and I know one thing for certain, which nobody can dispute, because Peter is the best virologist and I'm the father of the PCR test. Peter and I do not think HIV virus causes AIDS, full stop, unquote. Anyway, that's besides the point. But our silver can destroy any virus in 5 minutes' time. It improves your immune system so much that your body's own immune system comes up. But the United States FDA is trying to kill this. Because this has been so useful, now they say this will kill all germs. Supposing it gets into the sewerage system, then the germs, good germs also die, then the sewerage system will get blocked and you will have smell all over the place. All humbug. It's all created things. Nothing happens. It never kills good germs. That's the interesting part of it. Because it, see, again comes from old granny story. Rustum Roy had an old granny who insisted that he eats in a silver plate. When was this? 1910. And he drinks water from a silver glass. When he became a great material scientist, he said, why not I use this? Let me see silver, what does it do? I'll show you something which silver does. Fantastic thing it does. You saw this, right? I'll show you something else. Now people say, you have blocked vessel. Blocked vessel is not disease. Blocked vessel is a blessing. If any one of you don't have blocked vessels, I don't think you will be alive after the age of 40 if you don't have blocked vessels. Because these vessels start blocking when you are a child. And as they are blocking, for whatever reason they are blocking, I don't know, nature produces beautiful bypass. Beautiful bypass. That is what keeps you going. And not only that, your heart learns to live with less blood. Supposing you always have, let us say, 10 lakh salary, and one fine morning you lose your job, you will die. But supposing you retire with 1 lakh becomes half a lakh becomes 25,000 and becomes 10,000, then Kirti Singh of course gets a DA enhancement every year. Other than that, all of us will have to live on that reduced thing. I used to get 15% interest on my gratuity money which I kept in the bank. Now only 6% it has come. What do I do? Instead of 3 meals, I eat only 2 meals. And I hope I live longer. But what is interesting is this, that the human system is so well built that body says, okay, I am going to reduce your blood supply. So get used to that. It's called preconditioning the heart. Preconditioning the heart. Today we have a treatment. Supposing you don't have a block, which happens in about 10% of the people. If you detect that somebody who has no block, we create blocks for them. Do you know what's the treatment? We put the blood pressure cuff here and go on inflating it, keeping it there till you get pain in the hand, releasing it again and again. So produce a block here, it preconditions your heart. Can you believe that? Fascinating it is. Yes, very interesting. Now I'll show you how we can do that. We can help nature. Very interesting. This is a 58-year-old lady who came to me without being able to walk 4 steps. Severe pain in the leg, intermittent claudication. Her vessel, big vessel in the abdomen was blocked just below the kidney, completely blocked. But she was still alive. Only thing is the blood supply was not enough. So she walked, needed more blood, it was not there. So she went to a 5-star hospital in Bangalore. She is from Bangalore. They did an angiogram of the neck and said your neck vessels are blocked, your brain vessels are blocked, your 4 vessels blocked in the heart, your all the vessels blocked below, and you require 1 bypass surgery here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. That frightened them. Do you know why they said that? This lady comes from a very rich family. So this is ideal bakra, you know. If you leave that bakra, you don't get that money. There was a man called Mark Twain who once said, for a man with a hammer in the hand and itching to use it, everything looks like a needle needing hammering. So for a man with the bypass surgery setup which costs about 30 crores of rupees, the return every day must be about 1 lakh of rupees, otherwise he can't pay the interest on the loan. He is itching to bypass everybody who comes there. So this lady was a first class bakra, but she was frightened of these operations. So she came to me and this was the stage at which she came. I'll show you what is this? Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. All of you see the water? And this is the water structure, see that? This took 5 years to find out the structure of the water. Such a complicated thing. What you see on the left hand corner at the top is what you learnt in the chemistry class, H2O, very simple. That's the water structure. And you see a lot of loose bonds there, we can put silver nanoparticles there. And water structure is a fascinating new field of research and human possibilities, because 80% of you is water. Did you know that? 65% of your bone is water. And all parts of the body are water. And if you don't replace the water in Chennai, you will feel tired in the evening. You have to drink plenty of water. And if you drink coffee, tea, you have to drink more water, because they are good diuretics. And if you drink any one of those alcohols, God only help you. And those colored bottle things, they are poisons. Colored bottle things, I won't tell the name because they can sue me. All colored bottle things are poisons. Now you see what we have done. We took a silver mesh. This is also designed by Professor Rustum Roy. A silver mesh. And we wet the silver mesh with water and then stimulate with the 0.9 volt current. So nano silver particles get deposited. So here came a boy, an American boy. We were doing this work for a number of years. And he had a finger which was cut. And the finger went into the machine, which is cut, and the tip was pulverized and went into the machine. To repair this, they demanded $60,000 in the hospital. And he was a worker, poor worker, he didn't have it. So we said, let's try what to do. We cleaned the thing without anything, no chemicals or anything, put the silver mesh on that, and then connected it to a 9-volt battery, and then stimulated that to change its electricity. Go back one page up. And this is the diagrammatic representation. You see the wire there, silver mesh there, and the finger at the other end. Now I'll show you what's happening. Now, 3 days later, the finger is all clean. Nothing has happened. 1st June, the finger is half an inch longer. 23rd June, the finger is almost complete. And on 11th of August, he has got a finger, fingernail, fingerprint, everything. Just to remind you what it was 3 months earlier. Now we have been able to do a lot of wound healing, leprosy wound healing. You saw that policeman's foot on the same principle. Policeman's leg, same principle. And we are now in animals, we are trying the whole leg. And what is interesting here is, see, this is the intelligence of the body. I want now this is nothing. Each time you used to remove the dressing, scrape it, and send it to the laboratory to see what it is. Do you know what the report came? First, they asked me, where did it from? Where did it come from? Because if you don't tell them it's from the liver or the lung, they don't know where it has come from, because they look different. But here it looks same. We didn't tell them. Ultimately, one fellow said, this looks like pluripotent, very powerful stem cells. In short, in the finger, our process transforms the cells into stem cells. We do in vitro stem cells. You say, you report stem cell research is going on, millions of dollars given, and these stem cells are made outside and put into the human body. God only knows what it does inside. The first 3 patients treated with stem cells and genetic engineering with cancer, the first cancer died and the second cancer came up and killed the patient. So, experiment successful, patient died. That's all the difference. Now here, the stem cells are formed by the procedure. Very interesting. Have you seen a salamander at home? பள்ளி பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா வீட்ல? பார்த்திருப்பீங்களா? அந்த பள்ளிக்கு நீங்க அந்த டெயில் கட் பண்றீங்களா? நாளைக்கு ஒரு டெயில் கட் பண்ணி அந்த பள்ளிக்கு ஒரு டாக் போடுங்க. You salamander, you've seen salamander? A small cousin of lizard? Roof and all. If you using that chemicals in the house, they won't survive. You spray all rubbish. They are very good. They eat the mosquitoes. They eat even flies. They are a very good cleanser of the house. And they don't bite you, don't worry. It's not poisonous at all. Next time you see that, catch hold of it. Put a name tag to it, or a chain or something. Cut its tail. Watch it. The tail regrows. We studied that. Why does it regrow? You cut your tail, it won't regrow. Huh? Cut any tail you have. Anything you have. No, tooth is different. Cut the liver and it grows. It doesn't grow. Anyway, we'll come to that. It doesn't grow. Doesn't matter. Don't worry. Nothing grows in the human body, because when you cut the human body cells, the cell's polarity does not change. Unless the polarity changes, the cell can't grow. So what we did with that circuit that we showed you is, we reversed the polarity and saw that no germ entered there with the silver there. So 2 conditions are required. Germ should not come. Salamander can kill germs. And your honey can kill germs. And our silver can kill germs. And this polarity is changed, the finger grows. Now I'll show you how body's own intelligence is improved. And this is very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Here is our abdominal MRI. You see, that's what you see there is like a rod holding those two kidneys. That's the aorta, the main vessel that carries blood from the heart down to the whole body. And you see up to the kidney, the vessels are okay. Below that, you hardly see any vessels. There are no vessels at all. Of course, aorta is not there at all, but the iliac arteries are also very small, just puny like your hair. So we put this machine for 4 hours every day on the abdomen just above the kidney. And you see now, after 2 months, now see, 2 months later, you see the number of vessels that have grown. It's like a huge big bundle of vessels growing. And you see now the iliac arteries have become almost normal. They are beautifully fed. And the same thing happens in the heart. A patient with heart attack, we put this machine, 48 hours later he goes home. And after 2 months you get him back and see whole lot of bundles of things. We have now 150 patients to date. 150 patients. And any cell is okay. Any cell in the body. Brain is, you got a stroke, we put it on the head. And after 2 days, the woman goes home. 140 blood pressure comes to 120 by 80 in 4 hours time. This lady had 260 by 140 blood pressure with 8 tablets lower blood pressure. And with this, now her blood pressure is 120 by 80. She has no pain in walking. She has no pain in the heart. She has no pain nowhere. And her husband, but what is very interesting is, you probably did notice, the kidneys have become now normal sized. In the first one, though the kidneys were looking all right, their top was not there. It was like a cut off beans. Now it's a full beans. You know, white beans. So friends, your body is so wise that it can correct most of the things. With a little assistance from our side, that too the assistance must only assist nature and not go against nature. In short, whatever treatment you want to give, it must be holistic treatment. Not reductionist treatment for that particular cell or for that particular organ. It must be for the whole human system. And the most important thing is, you must reset the mind. Mana evam manushyanam